when Desiree came along, she shot pretty straight, and it's something that sort of commanded my respect, really, and was interested in knowing whether I had feelings for her.
We ended up he had two bikes, and I was on one, he was on the other. He had kids on one, I had kids on the other. And we were driving up a hill, we'd gone for a ride, and one of the bikes broke down. It was my one. So he's like, oh, should we carry on up the hill? You know, you can come jump on with me. And I'm thinking, yep, because my motives is I'm gonna ask you what's going on. And so we carried on riding up this hill, and it was just me and him. And then we got to the top, and it was just like my heart was beating, and it's like, I've got to say something. This is why I came. And so I just put it out there on the way down, and I just said, I saw you at your sister's, and I felt there was something there, and is there? And he just stopped the bike and looked at me absolutely gobsmacked, like, what the heck has she just done?
For the first time in a long time, it put me in a position to actually go and talk to God again. And so one of the biggest things I'll always remember her saying is that there was a choice to make, and I didn't have to have a relationship with her, but she was keen on having one with me, and I says, well, give me some time to think about it. And in that time, I finally went back to the Lord, and God sort of whispered in my ear. He says, well, you sort of put it in my hands, and you said that one day, if ever you were to have a wife, then you were going to leave it up to me, and I've brought this Christian girl along to you because she needs some backup.
We've been married now for 8 years. We spent 4 of our first years up in Waipatu because he had to adjust to all the kids, and I had to allow the Lord to heal some other broken places in my heart.
Married her with 5 children. She's given me 3 awesome children, and together we're raising those kids.
We pretty much just would drive into church, support church every Sunday, serve wherever we could. At first he wasn't coming, but then I think he got really nosy and wanted to check it all out and see what was happening. So he came in and never left. I remember telling a girl and saying, one of my close friends, and said to her, I really feel like God's calling me to pastor. And this is before I even moved to Wairoa. I had a dream 2 nights in a row, and it was about feeding God's sheep. Not long after that, the church was released, and my husband and I began to take care of it. We were 6 people when we first started, and God has just done amazing things.
One thing that I do know is that it's not about religion. It's everything about relationship, and yeah, we continue to help people to have that relationship with God, and that means that my relationship continues to grow as well.
Watching families being restored, watching young families whose desire is to be happy, but they don't know how. And so seeing them starting to make changes, seeing them starting to respect one another, seeing them starting to look after what's important and letting go of those things that aren't important.
Being strong is, for me, sometimes having to be the one to take the first hit. Sometimes it's the one that has to be stood on because somebody's got to get to the top of that tree to get that fruit, so stand on my shoulder and you'll get that fruit. And that's what, you know, being strong means to me.
I love to see husbands and wives or partners just releasing one another to live and fly, really fly, both of them, not just one, but both releasing one another. And that's a blessing. And it's something we just encourage people, that it's neither one, it's always release her to do all she's called to be and release him to be all he's called to be. Because then you have strong family as well.